Welcome to the Introvert Sisters, the podcast by introverts for introverts, hosted by Sharon and Lisa, two INFJs with a lot to say.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
And I'm Lisa.
And together,
we're the Introvert Sisters.
Welcome back to our podcast.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Let's kick things off.
Let's kick things off with introverts uniting separately. So what's been on my mind is this whole working from home thing. I came to a realization the other day that I basically have been in sweats for months at this point.
Do you like sweats?
Do
you like sweats?
Sweats are super comfortable. I don't mind sweats at all. I don't mind sweats at all, but you know, of course, I had a former life, as we all did. And,
do you mean the before Corona times?
Before the Corona times. You know, and I'm thinking, well, first of all, it seems like a lot of countries, unfortunately, are on a second wave, or I don't know if it's a second wave or a continuation of the first wave that was mismanaged. But I'm not throwing any stones at anybody. Just saying.
Nobody orange mentioned at all.
Nobody orange. Orange, you got it. I'm not throwing stones at you. Anyway, so it seems as if COVID is still running rampant because people won't wear their masks, among other things. So remote work is really the point I'm getting to. Remote work seems like it might be here to stay for a while. And I'm kind of, at this point, I realized a couple of Fridays ago, I'm like, I don't even know what clothes look like anymore. You know, and even with this podcast, I mean, thank goodness, you know, we have to make sure that we're appropriately garbed from
Absolutely.
The waist up. And then there's sweats. That's not even, I'm just saying, let's not even act like that's not the truth, because we are everyone on a Zoom call, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I was like wondering, like, do I clean up my closet at this point? Like, is life ever going to go back to normal, whatever that might be, or is, you know, sweatpants dressing here to stay? Like, I feel like I have a lot of blazers and business appropriate attire, and I'm like, okay, do I just like keep like 2 blazers and that's it? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, work clothes have been over for me for a long time because, you know, back in the old days, you know, I went through the skirt suit, the trouser suit, the business wear.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I started teaching at university, and all of a sudden, good jeans became a thing.
Don't you love good jeans, though?
I do love good jeans. Love good jeans. And I thought that I had, you know, found my clothes home, you know. And my feeling is it should never be about the clothes. It should be about your ability to do the work. So if remote work means...
Yes, there's that.
If remote work means that we just have to look presentable from the waist up, well, so I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I live in the Caribbean, as you know.
Yeah.
So I have had my days when I have been sitting at home in a t-shirt and shorts because it's hot, suddenly realized that I had a meeting and have gone to my wardrobe and found a top that I can just throw on over the t-shirt.
Yeah.
It looks like I was dressed for the meeting all along.
Exactly. You know, like a nice simple button-down shirt or something of that nature that you can just throw on. I had a layer and take back off.
I had a wonderful white accordion pleat top that never looked creased.
That sounds amazing.
And you know, you basically could throw it on top of anything. I mean, even if you wore it open over a plain t-shirt, it looked like you had made an effort.
Right.
So, that was great. So I need to get another one of those for those emergency situations, emergency Zoom situations, because we do have those from time to time.
We do have those from time to time. We do have the people that don't respect Zoom etiquette and just like will randomly call you.
Yes, or those who insist on having the camera on.
Yes.
Right? So
please, let's make it a work from home, cameras off society.
Oh yes, the joy of all introverts.
Oh my gosh. But let me tell you, if it is pure work from home and pure cameras off, definitely, I'm literally going to scale back. I'm going to scale back to a couple of blazers and be done with it.
Well,
because I have my closet has multiple personalities.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Right. It's the only way I can describe it. And so, now it's gonna be sweats. But basically, right now it's like my schlumpy home clothes that really nobody outside of the house should see. I mean, unfortunately, my neighbors, when I'm walking my dog, they see them and it's like, okay, whatever. The boy told you to be up at 6 o'clock anyway. You get what you get. But then there's, the business stuff, and there's the stuff like for Afropunk, all that fabulous festival stuff. And, back when I actually used to go to formal events, there's some gowns and whatever. But I'm like, I feel like if life is just, and I'll keep them, but it's like now I'll take pictures of that clothing like for Instagram. Like I'm not going anywhere.
No. And, people aren't going to be going anywhere for a while.
No.
Which
is fine by me.
Because you are an introvert.
Because I am an introvert.
And that leads us nicely into in our world today, which is 11 things you should never say to an introvert. And I'm going to start with number 1.
Yes.
Which is when I first met you, I thought you were a biatch. You seem stuck up, right?
Oh my gosh. How many times have you heard that? Oh my goodness. I've heard it so many times.
Many times. Many times. It's as if introverts aren't allowed to be reserved and quiet. If you're not talking and out there all the time, people think that you're aloof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's true that I'm reserved. I'm an introvert. That's, that's part of my DNA.
Yeah, I think that we have to stop making it, or the world has to stop making it seem like if being quiet is bad. Like if there's something wrong with sometimes being quiet, or there's something wrong with not constantly being the center of attention, or there's something wrong with just jabbering because you have a mouth.
Which
not that I have strong feelings about this at all.
It leads us very nicely into number 2. And I think you should talk about this since you've already got started. Things you should never say.
The second thing you should never say to an introvert is, why are you so quiet? Liven up. Let's run. All that stuff. So, but the why are you so quiet? I feel like if a lot of introverts almost take that as a personal attack, because like it literally is our personality and we can't help it.
Exactly.
It's just how we are.
Exactly.
And for that matter, why are you so loud? Why don't you dial it down?
You read my mind, sis. I was just thinking, why don't you tone it down a little bit?
Right. So, but have people ever? Sorry?
Thinks every introvert ever. Why don't you tone it down a bit?
Exactly. So, have you basically heard the why are you so quiet since you've known yourself, like since you started to go to school? Like when was the first time that you remember somebody telling you that? Or was it even like at home? I have no idea.
I was probably very young because I've always been quiet.
Yeah.
I've always been quiet. There's really nothing more to say than that. And people have remarked on it. I don't know if I can actually remember the first time it happened, to be honest with you. Can you?
Yeah. No, I feel like which is something we've discussed a couple of times before, I feel like if people did not realize that I was quiet, because I was like out doing things, and in the doing of the things, like, okay, if you're in a play, for example, you're in a play, you're going to have to deliver your lines. You have to speak. You know, if you're doing a dance recital, you have to dance. And if it's a happy dance, you have to sort of smile and do the whole jazz hands thing. So I think I might have given off the impression that I'm not quiet. And I was also brought up to be polite. If somebody speaks to me, addresses me, I will speak back. You know, I'll respond in kind. And also, in terms of like performing and that sort of stuff, usually these are people that you end up knowing very well. So then I would be comfortable around them.
And therefore less quiet.
And therefore a little bit less quiet. So I think people were always like surprised when they found out, you know, or if they saw me just sitting by myself, you know, they would be surprised, or if they saw my face, because I have serious RBF, as you know.
Which brings us nicely to, you always look upset. Why don't you smile more? You're so serious. Lighten up.
Oh.
Okay, so for me, you know, I'm walking around. I'm in my head. I'm thinking of things.
Living your life, minding your own business.
I do actually smile quite a bit, but it may not be in a social situation where I feel a little bit tense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yes.
And you have such a lovely smile. And when you like grin when something like really tickles you, you know, you have a beautiful smile. But I guess it's like I see it a lot because you're comfortable around each other. Always like it comes as a bit of a surprise to me when people, you know, say that you know, don't smile. I'm like, she doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she smiles all the time around me. But anyway, whatever.
If I'm not smiling, maybe we're not that close, just saying.
Just saying.
I think we can move on before I insult anyone.
Right.
Okay. Next
right.
For you.
Next one is you seem really cold, personality-wise. You seem cold, and you don't look very friendly. That's another thing. That's the fourth thing to say. Which, by the way, you know, you don't look very friendly is not a great conversation starter. I'm just saying.
No. And you know, the thing, the irony is that you are a really warm person. That is the irony.
You know, but it's not my job to walk around with a grin on my face constantly, or, you know, to try to fit into some mold of what people think I should be appearing as. That's not my role in life.
No.
But you know, but I am friendly.
You are. Under the right circumstances.
Under the right circumstances. Exactly, with the right people. I don't know. Have you been told that as well, that you seem cold or
aloof is the word. I remember hearing that at university with some people that later became my friends, and they said, well, you know, we didn't even think that we could approach you and talk to you because you looked so standoffish. Right?
What does that mean? I have never understood that.
I don't know what it means, because, you know, I'm not standoffish. I'm just quiet. I'm just reserved. And, you know, for me, there's a world of difference between being reserved and actually being standoffish. So I get a little bit offended by that, I have to admit.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I guess in the same way that extroverts or ambiverts, I don't know, maybe, I guess mainly extroverts might look at somebody that appears to be standoffish and kind of, you know, want to stay away or run in the other direction. Like if I see a crowd of people or a few people gathered and the conversation is just like too animated, I'm running in the other direction because I'm like, that's too much energy, too much noise. They're probably gossiping about somebody. I don't want to know.
Yes.
So it's just interesting how, you know, your personality makes the perspective different.
Absolutely. And I suppose that many of the people that make these comments are extroverts, and they have a different standard for social behavior. They have something different that feeds them, and maybe they don't fully understand how introverts even manage to live the way we do.
How does one look friendly though? I guess that's my thing. Like how they, I don't know.
I don't know
how they're making these decisions.
I don't know.
I guess because I don't feel unfriendly, I'm like, well, what is it that I'm looking like that makes you feel that I'm not?
Okay, so putting myself in someone else's shoes for a while, you know how...
Are you going to play devil's advocate? No, I'm just kidding.
If you're walking on the street and you're lost and you're looking for someone to ask directions, you will look at people's faces and you will make a judgment about which people seem approachable.
Well, you stay away from the ones that look like they could harm you, yes.
Well, yes. And you know, there's certain people that, you know, may be preoccupied with something. Some people look more. So we make those judgments too. So I suppose we can't really be mad at extroverts for looking at our faces, our quiet, reserved faces, and making that judgment. It feels bad when you're the introvert, but it's something that all human beings do. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but I guess it is something that all people do. But where I object to it here is because this is something that people will literally come up, like say to you, which is different from you're walking down the street trying to make assessments of, okay, where is it safe? Who can I approach, et cetera, et cetera. So I guess your judgment is internal and silent, which is fine.
That's
we all do it.
You don't have to tell me.
My issue is, why would you come up to somebody and say things like, wow, when I first met you, I thought you were really stuck up, or you seem really stuck up, or you seem really quiet, or you don't look friendly. Are you friendly? You don't look friendly. Like, how do you start a conversation that way?
I think it gets relationship off to a bad start, I have to say.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of which, if someone says, you're so boring, hanging out with you is so boring, I don't know that anyone has actually said that to me in those words. Actually, no, I lie. Someone has said that to me because I don't necessarily want to do, when social engagements are being proposed, I'm always gravitating to the quieter things.
Right.
And so I have had friends say, oh, that's so boring. You know, girl, don't you want to do something a little more interesting? Yeah. But, you know, there you go.
Yeah. I've had people say that hanging out with me is boring. And now we no longer hang out.
Well, no, and it's offensive.
Obviously, because who would? And I associate myself with people and friends who see the light in me and who know that I'm witty and entertaining as heck.
Which you are.
Just saying, as are you. As are you.
Which you are. Okay, next one. Your turn.
So next one is introverts really don't like when you say, don't be shy. Don't be shy. First of all, introversion and shyness are not the same thing, which we've addressed in a previous episode. So please go back and listen to that one. But telling somebody don't be shy is akin to, you know, don't be shy, don't be stressed, just calm down. Phrases of that ilk. And you know, the person on the receiving end is like, okay, great. Now that you've said that, why didn't I just think of that? Just don't be.
Don't be who I am.
How ridiculous
is that? If I am shy,
you telling me don't be shy just really helped. Thank you.
Which is similar to just get out there, come out of your shell. Now, can I just say, as an introvert, I like my shell, okay?
My shell is a fabulous place.
Exactly. Just get out there is anathema to me. I don't want to just get out there. I want to stay in here. Okay?
I want to be in here.
I want to be in here as an introvert. I want to be in here. I don't want to be out there. Okay.
In here is introvert heaven. My shell is wonderful. My shell is so plush, right? My shell is plush and comfortable. My shell has, you know, entertainment, you know, nice drinks, a little Netflix. Right, my puppy dog, my thoughts, my feelings, my inspirations. My shell is heaven.
Exactly. As we've said many times before, introverts do not thrive on the kind of social engagements that make extroverts happy. So getting out there is going to be very draining for us.
Yep.
We don't want to get out there. We need to stay in here for a good length of time before we can get out there. And having been out there, we need to come back in here and recharge.
That's you already kind of answered my question. What I was going to ask is how long does it take you to recharge after being out there, just get out there situation?
It depends on how out there and how long I've been out there. I certainly know that I don't enjoy having several back-to-back social engagements, like successive weekend days. I need a wind down and recharge day at least.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a busy weekend recently, and it literally took me, the result of it was I basically had a migraine for like 4 days after.
Yep.
It was just overwhelming. It was too much, too many activities, too much stuff, you know. It was, overwhelming.
Okay. So where were we on our list?
Okay, so I think the next one is, so after just come out of your shell. Okay, so the 8th thing that you please don't ever tell an introvert is, my friends think you don't like them because you never come out with us. This is kind of related to the come out of your shell, or you should get out more, that kind of a thing. But it's literally telling you, people think you don't like them, and sort of putting the onus on you. Anyway, thoughts. Please feel free to chime in.
Thoughts. Well, there's one thought that is, their opinion of me is none of my business. That's one thought. Let's start there. Okay. Second, there is no one way to be. Okay. Mm-hmm. Being out there all the time does not make you a quote unquote better person than somebody who is staying in. Having meaningful interactions with a small group of people can actually be more rewarding than being out there being a social butterfly. Those are my thoughts.
True.
Having said that, there have been times when I've said, okay, I haven't been out with X bunch of coworkers for a while. I'll go this time, even though I know I'm going to need 2 days to recover afterwards.
Yeah.
You play the game a little bit. But
you try.
Less and less as I get older, I have to confess. What about you?
Like you said, you play the game every now and then because you kind of think, like, politically speaking, career-wise, if I haven't gone out to the last 5, I have to go out, join in on at least one, or they're not going to understand, and then they're going to come with you. She's standoffish, she doesn't like us, she's snobbish, etc. She's aloof, all of that, or she just doesn't like us. But the thing is, with a lot of introverts, is we're also very sensitive to subtexts. So we probably know that you or some of your friends or whoever are maybe not thinking that well of us, and that does not inspire one to want to join in.
No.
Join that group.
That makes it worse.
It actually makes it worse, because you can tell. I mean, everybody has that intuition. You can tell, like, they are not feeling me.
No,
they're not feeling me.
Exactly.
The feeling is kind of mutual. Why do we have to force it?
Often. Why are you going to spend time liking somebody that doesn't like you?
No. And why force it? Why force it? I remember there was one company that, oh my gosh, they were so relentlessly socially constant happy hours and outings, and oh my gosh, it was just never ending. Like I felt, I'm like, y'all might still be viable if you spent less time socializing and more time working. I'm just saying, but but there was a lot of socializing, and it was overwhelming, and and I felt forced to. I literally felt like I have to, or I'm not going to get a raise. I'm not going to get promoted. Like, that's how bad it was.
Well, that is how these things work.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So sometimes you find that you have to do it, but it doesn't come naturally, and it doesn't always feel comfortable. Speaking of things that don't feel comfortable, the dreaded words: you should collaborate with the group more. You should speak up more in class. You should speak up more in meetings. Subtext being, you can't be that smart if you're not dominating the conversation. Well, newsflash. Introverts spend a lot of time thinking, and we are that damn smart, okay? We're probably smarter. Okay?
Probably.
Just saying. Just saying.
Just saying.
So there's more than one way to contribute. You don't have to be out there leading the meeting, throwing down your ideas. You don't have to be doing all of that. You can be quietly working, putting pieces together and coming up with a workable plan and still make a valuable contribution.
Yes. And this is not to say, again, I don't want to be the person that is leading the meeting and doing the cheerleading and the rah-rah, and I don't want to be that person ever.
No.
Right? And so, but that is a vital and valuable role for somebody else to play that's not me.
Yes.
So this is not saying that that's a bad way to be. That's a great way to be. I just don't think that everybody has to be that way.
Exactly. I think that's why it is important to mix your teams, have introverts and have extroverts. The introverts are going to be even better at planning and strategizing. The extroverts are going to be great at presenting and fielding questions.
Exactly.
Put the two together and let them play to their strengths. That's what we're saying.
Let them play to their strengths.
No,
exactly.
Please be clear. We do not hate extroverts. We just don't want to be forced to be extroverts.
Yes. Quote.
Tweet
that. I like it.
Okay.
So what's another one? I forgot where we were.
We're at number 10, sis. And I know that you have a lot to say about this one.
Yes. This one is, part of it is following on from the previous one, from number 9, which is, let's go around. Let's open it up to the group. Let's open up this invitation to the group. Like you invite somebody, and one person, this has definitely happened to me more than once. You invite them, and then they announce in front of everybody that you have not invited. Hello, who does that? Do you want to open it up to the group? No, I do not. I know the way it works. If I want to invite them, they would be invited, and now it's awkward. Thank you very much. Now it's super awkward.
Yes.
Or they just say, "Oh, by the way, I invited along a few more people to your event." But
no, I feel like that's just rude.
Nothing is wrong with that per se, but could you at least ask beforehand and genuinely give the person an opportunity to say if it's okay or not?
Or a little warning to prepare yourself. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to say no to it.
No.
But you have to put in a whole other level of social and mental armor to deal with extra people. Because again, introverts.
Plus, you might like your friend, but I might not like your friend.
Well, there's that. But as introverts, we don't necessarily thrive in large social groups. No. So if we have created what we thought was a nice little thing for 4 people, and then you suddenly double it by inviting 4 more people, that's a whole different thing for us.
Yeah. And it's not fun.
And it's not going to be fun.
I've actually never been in a situation. Go ahead.
In order to make it through it, we need to be prepared. We don't like being blindsided by that.
No. And in order for, I've never been in a situation like that happened in this way where I enjoyed it. Never. Now, nobody might have known it. I can put on the extroverted face with the best of them, and I'm polite and well brought up, and I'm not going to be rude to anyone unless they're rude to me. But I'm not going to be rude to anyone. But I'm not having fun. Definitely not having fun. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah, one of the questions that I always ask when social engagements are being planned is, so who's coming? Right? Or how many people are going to be there? And so that's part of my decision-making process.
Yeah.
And if I know that I'm going to go anyway, it's part of my way of mentally preparing myself. Okay.
For sure.
And many of my friends will be listening to this and thinking, but you seem all right when you're with us. And it's true, because I have known you for years. I'm comfortable with you. Mm-hmm. But if you actually stop to think about it, you will know that if we have ever been out together in a place where there are a bunch of strangers, I'm going to be quieter than usual. Just think about it.
Yeah, very true.
And to end on this, there's the let's go around the table and introduce ourselves.
at meetings
At
or
meetings.
any group activity.
Or on Zoom, for that matter.
All right.
Right? I don't even know what to say. It strikes terror in your heart.
It strikes terror in my heart.
You hope you're not going to be the first one.
You gave me a good tip. You told me, Lisa, you know it's going to happen. Write a couple points down, prepare it, save it in your phone, refer to it. Which, yes, all makes sense. But it still strikes terror in my heart. And then again, another company I worked for, like you couldn't just say, sort of, name, title, role, what, you had to be witty with it. You had to come up with some little anecdote and, why is blue your favorite color? And when was the last time you rescued a cat? I don't know, all kinds of foolishness. And it's like, no, guys, like this is, first of all, it's ridiculous. And when we leave after doing all of this, homeboy is still going to be late with submitting his work. Homegirl is still going to be late approving it.
Yes.
The left hand won't know what the right hand is doing. What have we achieved here? Nothing.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's just get to the point and do the work.
Maybe you introduce yourself when you actually have something to say.
Yeah, I don't mind a simple introduction. I understand the utility of it. It does help to know who the players are in a room.
Yes.
And if you are going to be working with somebody else closely, yes, it's absolutely helpful.
But don't ask all those quirky questions.
All those stupid quirky questions. It's almost like it's one of those like trick interview questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, let's not do this and play board games and do the whole thing. Stop it. Stop it.
It's too early in the morning for team building.
Be done. Be done. Speaking of being done.
We're done.
We're done.
Bye, and thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Introvert Sisters. Loved what you heard? You can catch all our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and all other major platforms. Subscribe, rate, and write a review. Find us online at theintrovertsisters.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Introvert Sisters. See you next time. Peace.